Hi. The story you are about to hear is real. It happened. It's not an April Fool's prank. It's true ish. The other night I was given a vision. I looked, and behold, a book lay open before me. Its pages were white as snow, and its binding was of a soft, thick, light blue velvet material. The book lay gently in the middle of this outer covering. As I looked, I was in awe at the beautiful black letters on the pages. The letters began to rise and drift into the air toward my right. One by one, the lines and paragraphs lifted themselves and moved gracefully like musical notes in a cartoon across the room in front of me. And then they were gone. All that was left was the book with its blank snow white pages, staring up at me. And then the book was closed by some outside force. And the word of Goddess came to me, saying, Saoirse, daughter of Mary, granddaughter of Mary, she probably was just making an educated guess, since everybody has a mother or grandmother or caretaker or something named Mary. But she actually got it right with me. She continued, Do you see the book I have placed before you? Afraid and trembling, I answered Goddess in this manner. Yea, Goddess, holy and divine, lover of my soul, unequaled one, I behold the book whereof thou speakest. I figured I better use fancy language and religious sounding words to make sure I didn't anger Goddess. She continued to speak with me thusly. Saoirse, daughter of Mary, granddaughter of Mary, this book is you. It is your life. It has been written as you have lived it. But now it is moving toward the end. And when it's over and all the thoughts and words and actions are completed, the book will be closed. I was overtaken with sadness and began to cry. But Goddess reached down and lifted my chin and spoke to me in this wise. Saoirse, daughter of Mary, granddaughter of Mary, fear not, for behold, the book is still intact. The pages are now blank. They are white as snow. And you, daughter of Mary, granddaughter of Mary, shall write it all again. As I wiped a tear from my dimmed eye, I asked, Dear Goddess, holy and divine lover of my soul, how is this possible? How may I rewrite my story once it is finished? And Goddess whispered to me, Saoirse, daughter of Mary, granddaughter of Mary, this is only one life. You have many more, and each will be different from the next. You will be born again, and you will experience joy and sorrow and love and hate and fortune and fame and hunger and destitution. You will live all lives before it is over. Here my vision ended, and I pondered as to what it might mean. It sounds, of course, like we reincarnate over and over, and that's something I know many people believe. So maybe Goddess was revealing this to me? You might say to me, how do you know it was Goddess? Did she say that's who she was? Well, why wouldn't it be Goddess? We don't know where our thoughts come from. We don't decide to think them. They just come. You can't tell me what your next thought is going to be. And if we don't know, we can be sure that ancient people also didn't know. And when a thought came, they surely wondered whence it came. They probably thought of many sources. And what better source than God or Goddess? If thoughts and words magically appear, then surely they come from God or Goddess. Ancient men chose God. I, daughter of Mary and granddaughter of Mary, choose Goddess for my vision. And my vision and revelation and inspiration are just as meaningful and valuable and worthy of respect as the visions, revelations, and inspirations of ancient men. Again, this is a true story, all except the goddess part. That I threw in. I saw the vision, and I had the thoughts. Where they came from, I cannot say. But they could have come from goddess. You can't prove they didn't, just as you can't prove any thoughts did come to any ancient men from a god. I can hear some people saying, but you admit that your vision didn't come from goddess. No, I'm not admitting that. Since I don't believe in goddess, obviously I don't think it did. But if I did believe in goddess, then I would have every reason to think my vision came from her, just as those who believe in a god think their visions come from that god. Ancient men saw visions. They assumed the visions came from God. They dreamed dreams. They assumed the dreams came from a god. The thoughts entered their heads. They assumed the thoughts came from a god. People do the same thing today, and not just with a god. They think a devil's sitting on their shoulder feeding them thoughts. Just as you might choose to believe ancient men, when they say their thoughts were given to them by God, I can choose, if I want, to believe my thoughts came from a goddess. And the men and I should be viewed in exactly the same way. Whether my vision came from a goddess, a bunny rabbit, or my second Pfizer shot, or something else, I can claim inspiration for it just as easily as Abraham, Moses, or Isaiah claimed it for their visions and their thoughts. I know for a fact that I didn't make this all up. The vision and the words were there. They just appeared in the book and, as the book, the vision, and in my head. But I will not, as some do, lie and say I know whence they came, but I can say with assurance that I did not make up all of this. Or I should say that I didn't consciously make it up. This is not a story I deliberately created. It was a vision. And visions and words must have a maker, right? So what say ye? Did God speak to me? Should I start preaching reincarnation to the masses? I don't think so, because any vision or inspiration I might have, whether from a god or a goddess or from my own subconscious thoughts, would be nothing but hearsay to anyone else. And thus are the visions of everyone, including Abraham, Moses, and Isaiah, and the Apostle Paul. Thank you for watching. Bye.